Hello everyone and welcome to Ventura Valley. I'm Ignacio Ventura and I'm here with Ricky Araiza, the Associate Artistic Director of Childsplay. How are you, Ricky?
Good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you for joining us. So just to kick things off, can you tell me a little bit about Childsplay?
Yeah, so Childsplay is a theater for young audiences company that has been in Tempe, Arizona we're going to be heading into our 50th anniversary in about a year. So about 49 years we've been in the Valley. And primarily we are a group, an ensemble of adult theater performers who create, artists, artisans, and educators who create work for young audiences, for families, and for communities. And we've been doing that for about 49 years now.
I see. And how long have you been with Childsplay?
I've been with the company for approximately 15 seasons.
15 seasons.
Yeah. So it's a little like 15 years, but off and on. There were points where I left to go get some more education. But yeah, all in all, about 15 seasons.
I see. What year did you get involved with them?
So I graduated from undergrad in 2004. So yeah, right after I graduated, because I saw that there was a posting for, actually some friends told me about a posting that they were looking for actors. And I was getting my bachelor's degree at ASU in theater. So I applied and got cast in a show right after I graduated.
Interesting. And obviously, you say you didn't start off in the director position that you're in right now. So what was it like first getting involved with Childsplay? How was that experience like?
Honestly, coming right out of school, I never thought I never thought I would have a career in making art for young people. I went to school to be a theater actor on Broadway. I wanted to do what you would say like adult kind of work, and when I got, when I got a job with Childsplay, I was, had this opportunity to not only be an actor, but part of the programming was Q&As with the audience and doing workshops with kids. And when you are in those spaces and you're making art and telling stories and you hear the feedback and hearing how these young people are processing it, it was a game changer for me. And that's where I was like, okay, this is way more important, or there's so much power here in creating change, because a lot of the work I was creating at the time was very Chicano-centered, it was theater, and I was thinking about things like going to Broadway or bigger forms of theater, but I was also very affected by activist kind of theater and theater that would create change. And I didn't know that this was a form of theater for young people, but when you do that and when you have these kinds of reflections and talkbacks, it's very empowering, and it's you see that the changes in the youth. So that became a game changer for me. So after that, I just decided to move forward and continue as an artist here, as an actor here primarily, until I eventually started getting into directing.
Very interesting. I do want to get a little bit more into what you do as in the director role, but before
Sure.
I do, I wanted to ask you, what's the programming that Childsplay provides or shows to audiences? Can you tell me a little bit more about that programming?
Sure. So Childsplay, we kind of joke around that we're almost like a few different companies. So we don't just perform theater. Theater is the vehicle in which we, create change, have conversations. So we have our production side. So we do shows in schools. So basically like a tour show. We take them to a variety of schools throughout the Valley. We also perform out of the Herberger Theater in downtown Phoenix. So that's our production artistic side. Then we have our education wing, where we are going in and providing educational programming for schools, educational programming for teachers, professional development, stuff like that. And then we have our academy, which is where we do have young people come in and we train young people in how to do different types of acting and storytelling. So we have like a lot of moving parts with the organization. So yeah, it's not just performing, but those are a snapshot of all the programming. Now within each of those departments, there's a ton of other programming, just very specific, but those are like the three major ways that we collaborate with the community.
With the schools, is there a certain number of schools you guys go to?
Ooh, that's a good question. I want to say number of schools off the top of my head I don't have, but I would say that in a season we probably perform for 60,000+ young people every year. So school-wise, I'm not sure. That's a really good question. Hundreds, I would say hundreds within a season. Like this season, we have 2 different tours heading out. So we have Eddie and Vinny, and then we have, oh my goodness, my mind's blanking. But we have two different. Maddie's Fridge. Thank you to off-camera marketing person. Yeah, Maddie's Fridge and Eddie and Vinny. So you'll have potentially twice the number of students, or twice the number of schools seeing the show.
And what schools do you guys target? I know you guys are based here in Tempe. Is it just Tempe schools? Is it schools outside of Tempe? Where do you guys go to?
Oh, it's all statewide and international. I mean, national. We've attempted to go international sometimes, but national. So we primarily stick to the state of Arizona for, I want to say, 90% of our work, but we also have a national tour loop where we will hit a number of houses all over the country.
And where have those places across the country been?
I mean, anywhere from California all the way to New York, all over, all the way down to Florida, just seriously all around, yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And what's it like putting together a show or a production for Child's Play? How much time does it take? What does rehearsal look like? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure, yeah. The rehearsal and the crafting of the production usually happen at the same time. A rehearsal process will probably last 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, about 8 hours a day. So most of our rehearsal time and the actors we work with, it's their full-time job. So they're working 8-hour shifts in the rehearsal space. As you see right now, we're in rehearsal for Rudolph for the holiday. And then simultaneously we have a shop just down the way. So that's probably another 3 or 4 weeks of build and getting that ready. And then they spend what we'll call a tech week. So that tech week will be a load-in of the entire set, all the props, all the costumes, and then a full week of just being in the theater with all those elements to help it work. So you're looking at probably a month to 2 months of like actual work, but then there's tons of prep prior, and that's based on the director. Could be months of just kind of figuring out and replanning and sketching and redesigning before they make those final decisions. Thankfully with Rudolph though, this will be our 3rd year doing it, so it's pretty much dusting off the set, doing some touch-ups, but we pretty much have the vision for it already.
Got it. And as in your director role, how do you help people around when it comes to doing these productions? What's your role with these productions right now?
Right now, I'm not directing the show. Currently, Rudolph is being directed by the artistic director of the company, Dwayne Hartford. My role predominantly is my little side title is Director of Artist and Community Initiatives. And what that means is I kind of serve as an advocate for artists in the space, whether it's an actor or a designer, production, and even a community advocate. So like right now, I'm really helping with workshops around how to engage with artists, how to different kinds of collaborative dynamics, like just how we work in space with each other, and just making sure the well-being of everyone is moving forward and working in a positive way.
Very interesting. I wanted to also ask, what do audiences think of your guys' production? What do children think of it? What do their families think of it? What do you know about that?
I mean, from what I know, we're going on 50 years. I mean, we have a community that supports us and always has. A lot of us have been with the company 15 plus years, so we're watching, kids that we used to teach now coming with their kids to classes. And I mean, what's interesting too is because our work is really focused on young people, we see new audiences like every 5 or 6 years, right? Once we say they kind of age out, and they age out and we get new young audiences in. But we have a lot of returning folks. We have a lot of dedicated family, we'll call them, who have come to support us over the going on 50 years. So yeah.
50 years. And you said that there's also an academy, is that right?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. So the academy is run by Brianna Fallon. She's the head of our academy program. And basically what it is we primarily, it will, the main portion of it is during summer, so it's like a summer camp essentially. Our entire school campus here is filled with students that are taking classes from acting all the way to like we call devising or story developing, all the way to production work. That happens mostly over the summer, and then around the summer, we'll have fall academies, so there's opportunities for students to come in and engage with us during fall or spring breaks, winter breaks. And then we also have special programming for homeschools. So, kids who may not engage in a school setting, they have the opportunity to come and work with other young people in the space here. It's just really an opportunity to, unlike on the professional stage where it's all adult actors, the academy is an opportunity for the young people to develop their skills. And we've actually seen those young people become teachers here and then even been on our stages in the past. So it's an opportunity to grow as an artist here.
I see. So you guys also perform at the Herberger, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's that experience like performing on a major stage like the Herberger here in Arizona?
I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, one of the best things about being on that stage as an actor, I can say, because I've gotten to perform, with Childsplay on that stage, is the house, we call it, where the seats are. It's really beautiful looking. So and the architecture of the space is really gorgeous. It's nice to be in a theater that's right in the middle of downtown, and it's a nice beacon for the city, and it's always been a really cool opportunity to perform out of that space.
And you guys are performing sometime this year at the Herberger. Is that you said?
Yes.
You're doing Rudolph?
Rudolph, yeah. So for the holiday, Rudolph will be there. We start November 22nd, and we'll be running till day before Christmas Eve, the 23rd of December. And we'll be doing shows pretty much every day for school kids, and then on the weekends we'll do it for families and the community. If you have an opportunity, come check it out. It's a big spectacle for sure.
I see. And when it comes to your guys' shows, do you guys also do original shows, or do you kind of do plays that have already been written? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, both. So, we do both. Childsplay was actually founded on an original. Well, not founded, but I will say Childsplay gained a little spotlight with an original show. So our founding artistic director, David Sarr, wrote a play called The Yellow Boat, which was about the life and unfortunate passing of his little boy Benjamin. And in that play, it was an opportunity to really talk about heavy topics. And at that time, when it came out, the play was talking about the AIDS epidemic. Benjamin had contracted AIDS from a blood transfusion. And so in this play, you hear the story from this young person's perspective about what it was like to go through this illness. And at that time, nobody knew about the illness. So it was an original play that put Childsplay on the map. So we've made it our mission in these 50 years to always support new work. We have a new plays program that is run by our other associate artistic director, Jenny Millinger. And actually we're going to be working on a new show next season called Jay Sonic and the Unknown from an established playwright, Idris Goodwin, and he's also the artistic director of Seattle Children's Theater. So we always make space for new work because in theater for young audiences, the canon, we want to keep expanding it, and we want it to keep reflecting young people as they are in the current world.
Oh, wow. I wanted to know, with these plays, do you guys try to convey a message? Is it mostly storytelling? What do you guys hope to accomplish with these plays and the way families view them?
I mean, we really create work that reflects what young people are going through. We try to do it in the most authentic way possible. We believe that in theater for young audiences in the field, not just Childsplay, but in the entire field, we believe that young people have the same level and same understanding of emotions that adults do. They're just figuring out how to say it. So it's really just finding work that truthfully respects young people and respects them for their intelligence and their ability to digest art and story. I see.
How important is diversity in some of your guys' productions and in the work that you guys do?
It's incredibly important. I mean, it's an opportunity for us to reflect who our community is, and the only way to do that is to show the diversity of the population that is Arizona.
I see. And I also wanted to ask, if anyone wants to get involved with Childsplay, how can they go about doing so? Can they volunteer, or what can they do?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing you could do is check out our website, childsplayaz.org. We have an employment page that has information if you want to work with us. But yeah, there's definitely opportunities to volunteer. We're always looking for teaching artists to come join us in the classroom if you're looking for that. Or even if you just want to support us, you can come buy tickets to our shows, gift certificates for your family. And we even say, if you have a favorite school or classroom, you can purchase a show and donate it to a school. I mean, there's really any way that you can get involved with us, and we're always looking to collaborate.
I see. Going back to your own educational background, how did that educational background influence the person you are today?
That's a good question. Actually, I was just thinking about this the other day. I think education was very important in my family. My mom pushed it a lot on us, and it helped me grow, and it helped me learn how to be in diverse spaces and have diverse conversations, oftentimes conversations that are complicated. I will say that going through some academic institutions and institutions in general tend to be white-dominated spaces. And I think being in the educational system has helped me maneuver white-dominated spaces and have sometimes uncomfortable or complicated questions or conversations with people. And I think that has prepared me beyond the knowledge that I gained and beyond all that and the experience. It helped me maneuver a world that is always changing. And I just will say, like, even though I learned a lot in academics, working in the real world, like putting that to the test was the real kind of like schooling, I guess.
When did your interest in theater begin?
High school. It was weird because I wanted to do movies, actually. I wanted to do special effects monster makeup. And if you know me in life, that makes sense. That reads. But I wanted to do it, but I didn't like the makeup. I didn't like any of the smells and stuff. So the closest thing I had in high school was they had theater. They had a tech theater. So I went and learned how to do like backstage work. That's what I was interested in. I wanted to be a designer. I wanted to do all that. And then I think I was running sound for a show. We were doing Our Town. I was running sound for a show of Our Town, and I was like, this is great. Like the ability to like tell these stories on stage, and like to play is basically like having make believe and having an audience get sucked into that. I wanted to be a part of that. So I knew in high school I wanted to do it. I didn't know I would be an actor or a director. I thought I was just going to be a designer, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. So where I got to in theater is a change, but high school for sure. When I was, because just that ability to play was always really cool, and it sounded like a job that I would want to do, and it didn't sound like a job. So
very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And you said you were involved in tech in high school. And how was that like working in tech theater?
I love it. Like, I mean, I think it's important for theater artists, especially if you. I think if you're going to work in any kind of field, you should learn all areas just to be able to understand it, be able to impact it, to be able to have meaningful conversations when you're critiquing it. So I think I found that's my love. That's the production aspect. Is I like to make stuff, so that was always really interesting to me. But I think it's crucial to understand, because even when you're as a director and that's the thing, as a director, it's helped me because I started out backstage. So if something doesn't go right for me, like vision-wise, that I want to happen on stage, rather than like being upset about it and not understanding, a technician could say, well, this is why, and I understand then. Okay, so I know it's possible. So it also informs my art too. So I found it to be a very fruitful and enjoyable part of the process.
And how does Childsplay manage to put the technical aspect of its production together?
So we have a production manager. His name is Nick Hutchinson. So Nick is responsible for making sure all that happens. So he is the one that's making sure the tech directors and stage management and all that's happening. So Dwayne handles what's in here. Nick is helping everyone get set up at Herberger and making sure that runs smoothly.
So it's a lot of people involved.
Oh yeah, it's tons of people. Like this wouldn't have happened without Nikiana off stage happening. Like it's just, we have so many supervisors and heads of areas with expertise that keep this engine moving.
And how many people are involved when it comes to setting up productions at schools? Does the tech crew also get involved with props? Or just tell me about the cast and the crew that's involved in like setting things up at schools.
At schools, so the tech is responsible for the building and the execution of a lot of it. They're not going in to set it up though. So in the tours, part of the job of the actors who are deciding to be in the tours are to understand that they are the crew. So like for instance, we have Eddie and Vinny going out. We have 3 actors who are in the show, and then they have a stage manager. So there's 4 people total. So all of them are responsible for setting up and breaking down the set, setting up their sound, any technology that they need. They're setting up and breaking down, but there is production on the back end that helps them, build it and put it all and create it and show them how to put it together. But once they're on the road, it's their project for the rest of the run.
What have been your most memorable moments being a part of Childsplay?
There was a really cool moment when I was an actor. I got to perform for one of the first ladies. They were coming through Arizona on like a book tour, and they heard a show I was in. Well, the show that we were doing at the time was called Tomas and the Library Lady, and she was familiar with the story, so came and saw us. So that was cool. I will say, like getting to be in this position as an associate artistic director is really amazing. Like, it's one of my dreams to be an artistic director, to someone who is able to bring vision to a group of folks, group of artists, and we all run together with it is really exciting to me. So that has been a really cool thing to be able to work with the ensemble that we have now, and yeah. So I think those are two very interesting moments in my career so far.
Oh wow! With the First Lady, do you recall who it was?
Yes, it was Laura Bush. So it was G.W. Bush's wife. Yes, I know. It's like, but the thing is Laura Bush. She is a very, very big advocate of reading. She herself is a librarian in Texas. So she and Tomas and the Library Lady, the story is about a young man from Texas. So she was familiar with the individual, but she's been a big advocate of education and reading. So she was someone that came to support the show, which was nice.
Speaking of advocates, are there any other individuals or any organizations that have supported Childsplay?
Oh, tons. We collaborate with a lot of philanthropic organizations out here, like the Flynn Foundation or the Steele Foundation. But we collaborate with other theater companies. Right now we're collaborating production-wise. We're collaborating with Mesa Community College on some build exchange that we're doing, and we're starting to work with other organizations to kind of have these creative exchanges to help costs for both ends. So stuff like that for sure.
Mesa Community College. Are there any other not the schools you go to, but are there any other educational institutions that you partner with, maybe ASU?
Oh yeah, so ASU, we actually have a really huge grant in that we're working in our education department. It's called iPlay, and it's a program that we've been working on with ASU for, I want to say, about 3 to 5 years now. It's with ASU's education department, where it's taking work and working with early childhood folks. So young people who are in preschool age, and babies, essentially baby theater and baby art, and trying to and unfolding the data behind that, and how proving how important it is and how beneficial it is for theater-based arts in development of young people.
I see. Following your guys' production of Rudolph, what does the future look like for Childsplay?
Like our next shows after that, or
next shows, what you guys plan to do?
Sure.
Tell me more about that.
Well, the next show after Rudolph will be "Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus," which is a pretty popular young people book, picture book. But company-wise, we're really getting ready for our 50th anniversary is a big thing that's on the horizon, and then also we're heading into a big campaign to raise some more funds so we can continue to do the work that we do in the community for the next, hopefully, 50 years, which would be really great.
And if people did want to support you, is there any way they can go about doing that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, come check us out at childsplayaz.org. We have tons of ways to contact us on there, and we can get you directed to whichever department you would love to help us out with, whether it's development for fundraising or production or education. But yeah, definitely start with our website.
Got it. We're nearing the end of our interview, but before we conclude, is there anything else you want our audience to know regarding yourself or Childsplay?
I think the biggest thing at this point is taking care of the stories that you tell our young people, and how we're relating to young people, and trusting that even though they're young people, and I'll say kids. I say young people. I prefer to say young people, but kids, trust them, and kids know more than you think. Yeah.
Interesting. And you mentioned the website earlier. Can you remind us what the website is, and also if people wanted to check you guys out at social media, where can they go about doing that?
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, definitely childsplayaz.org, and we also are on Instagram, Facebook, not on Twitter, Snapchat. No, just the best is Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well.
All right, sounds good. I think that concludes our interview for today. Thank you so much for joining Ventura Valley. This is Ignacio Ventura, and we're signing off now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.